Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. Today's guest is none other than your former president, Mr. George W. Bush, to tell about his new book, The Willing Suspension of Disbelief.
Thank you. It's great to be a part of the show.
Well, Mr. Bush, we're going to get right into it and take our first question from the audience. Emily from Riverside asks, I am taking a children's literature class, and I was wondering if you could help me out with the meaning of willing suspension of disbelief.
Well, that is a great question, Emily. Willing suspension of disbelief is the temporary acceptance of belief of events, characters, or setting that would normally be seen as unbelievable. This allows an audience to appreciate works of literature or drama that are exploring unusual ideas.
Thank you. The next question is, who is the founder of this phrase in literature?
Easy. Samuel Taylor Coleridge coined this term in 1817 with the publication of his biographical sketches of my literary life and opinions. He stated, "Yet so as to transfer from our inward nature a human interest and a resemblance of growths of change to procure for these shadows of imagination that willing suspicion of disbelief for the moment, which constitutes poetic faith."
Wow. Complex response, Mr. Bush. Thank you. Our next question is, willing suspension of disbelief implies that the environment in the story is believable. So what makes a story more believable?
That is a good question. There are actually four main things that contribute to believability. First, there should be great detail with vivid description of characters, setting, and action. Second, fantasy stories must have their limits, or else they will dissolve into nonsense. Third, a story should always maintain consistency. And fourth, a story or a fantasy should be rooted in reality and in human nature.
Thank you for the question, and thank you, Mr. Bush. As we come to a close, Mr. Bush, would you mind giving our watchers out there some modern-day examples of willing suspension of disbelief?
I would love to. Look at one of my favorite TV shows, Lost. I know the black smoke is not real, but I suspend my disbelief in order to enjoy the show. And how about the Phantom Toll Booth? You must be willing to suspend your disbelief in order to enjoy the story. Norton Juster does a good job providing details to make his story more believable and enjoyable for the reader.
How about a round of applause for our guest tonight, Mr. George W. Bush? Now, Mr. Bush, we know you will be on the upcoming season of Dancing with the Stars. Would you be so kind to show us a few of your moves?
I really should not, but you have been a great crowd tonight. Hit the music.